Hello, YouTube. How's my family tonight? Um, if you've come back, like I've said, say every time, if you've come back, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. Meet your family. And if you're new, my name is Mama Robin or Texas Beach Mom, whichever you prefer, whatever you're most comfortable with. And of course, today is Watts Wednesday. And I had a couple of ideas of things I could talk about tonight. And I decided to go with Crime Catalyst. She has another video out like 2 days ago. And she points out some things in the discovery. Well, first of all, let me say I think she does a phenomenal job. I really do. She has a small channel, a lot bigger than mine, but she has a small channel in comparison to some of the others. But she does amazing work. I think her videos are very good. I think her theories make a lot of sense. There's always been one or two things here and there that I don't agree with on her theories, but for the most part, I think she does a very, very good job. I mean, because on this case, most people aren't going to agree on 100%, because there's just so many answers to so many questions that we don't have. So many questions out there and we don't have the answers to them. So I think it's really hard to get people to agree fully. Because, you got Team Nicole. Oh, she's innocent. She didn't do anything wrong. And I don't believe that. The more I learn about this, the more I don't believe she did nothing wrong. As I've said 1,000 times, even if she's just a catalyst, she played a role. But I believe her role was more than catalyst. I'm not trying to give Chris an excuse. I'm really not. But because he's a monster and an asshole and a narcissist, and he deserves what he deserves to be where he's at. But if she is involved, she deserves to be right there with him. All right? That's just my opinion. If you don't agree with my opinion, that's fine. Nobody said you had to. I don't agree with a lot of opinions either, so that's part of the problem, though. There's Team Nicole. Oh, Nicole didn't do anything. He did it all by himself. There's Team Chris. Well, he did this stuff, but Shanann made him do it because she was just so mean. If I hear that again, I'm probably going to punch somebody. I'm so tired of hearing that. Victim blaming is so wrong, but that's not what I'm on this for. This is not my kick tonight. Okay. Crime Catalyst has a new video out, and I strongly recommend you all go watch it after you watch this. Actually, I recommend you go into her channel, and I recommend you watch a lot of her stuff, because she doesn't just do watch, she does a lot of other stuff too. But I have learned that she's very good at putting stuff together. Her theories seem to be pretty on point. But she brings up a couple of things most of us have glossed over, or we didn't hear before, or we heard them, but it's been such a long time ago we forgot about them. Everybody talks about that day that Lazy Dog, because Chris has said millions of times, he has said he wished he hadn't gone on that date, that he wished he'd have done something different, couldn't find a sitter or whatever his excuse would have been, because he feels like had he not gone on the date, things wouldn't have gone the way they've gone. And maybe they would and maybe they wouldn't, but that is what he said. And I cannot stress enough that he lies a lot, but he also tells the truth. The problem is he mixes them together. It's like, he tells a lie, but he's got some truth in there too. He has to have. In order for it to be believable, he has to have some truth mixed with the lies. It ain't just straight flat lies. And as I've said before, the closest confession we probably got to the truth, and it ain't right either, but probably the closest one was his confession to Dylan. And the reason I believe that is because he was very close to Dylan. They were very, very close. Dylan was like a brother to him, and he is more likely to tell the truth to Dylan than anybody else, because he trusted Dylan. So I believe his confessions to Dylan were probably the closest we're ever going to get to the truth. I believe that wholeheartedly. Again, I know he lies, and there were some lies in his confession. However, I think that's the one that's going to be closest to the truth. And I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. Now, back to what she was saying. She was talking about the lazy dog conversation that they had, and he wished they didn't have it. He said he wished they didn't do it. Okay? So she's talking about that date that night, and that night was probably the night he got the ultimatum. And she talks about how, in her opinion, what she thinks that ultimatum was about. As we've talked about before, and most of us know already, Chris Watts, most of us believe he was a narcissist. Now, whether he was malignant, covert, whatever, because it's different variations, they all kind of have a lot of the same stuff. And one of the things about 90% of the narcissists, or probably all of them, is that they don't want to look bad. They don't want people to think they're bad people. They don't want people to think that they're doing bad things. They want people to believe they're good. And what her theory is that date there that they had, was it Saturday night? Was that ultimatum. She believes that ultimatum came down to him that night, like, look, you give me what I want out of this, or I'm going to tell everybody what you've been doing. That would be a scary thing for him, because suddenly all these people would know what he's been up to, and they would all look at him like, oh, you evil little shit. So Chris Watts just, didn't want anybody thinking he was a bad guy. And if we go back and you listen to some of the conversations he's had with her friends, he kept emphasizing, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a monster. Why, when your wife is missing and her friends are calling, why would you even bring that up? But I digress. So back to her little theory about the lazy dog. And it was that night, after she got home from that date, that she looked up Ronnie Watts. She Googled where they live, but she also Googled Ronnie Watts. Now, why would she Google Ronnie Watts? Unless that was part of the ultimatum. Unless she had said, well, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to tell your dad. Everybody knows what kind of relationship he had with his dad. Everybody knows it. He's talked about it. Ronnie's talked about it. Everybody's talked about it. That might be why. That would explain why. Because a lot of people question, why the hell did she Google Ronnie Watts? Well, that might be why. If she threatened, hey, I'm going to tell your family what you're doing. Now, there is already some speculation that they already knew about her. Which, if his parents did know about her, then the blackmail doesn't work. It simply doesn't work. But if the family didn't know about her for sure, or didn't know that he was already that in deep, maybe she blackmailed him. And again, that would explain why. Oops. My foot slid. That would explain why she looked up Ronnie Watts that night. And then, of course, that Sunday night before Shanann got home, there was a 111-minute phone call that neither one of them can remember what the hell they said to each other. It's not like they spent 111 minutes going, well, hi, honey, how are you? Oh, great, baby, I'm doing wonderful. How are you? Well, no, I just put the kids to bed a little while ago, blah, 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 blah. That was not what that 111 phone call was about. That's not it. That wasn't it. It was probably her calling back to reinforce what she was going to do. Because something made him make a decision quick. Like, oh crap, I got to do something now. Because she wanted Shanann's life. I believe that wholeheartedly. She didn't want the financial troubles, but she wanted the cars and the vacations and the home, but not that home. Because she wanted him out of that home. She wanted him out of that home bad enough that she spent time looking for an apartment. Okay? She spent time looking for an apartment for him. She even found a couple that she thought he should look at. She was pushing him, and she pushed him for that 6 weeks. That whole 6 weeks that Shanann was gone, she pushed him, and she showed him how great life would be with her. And how he didn't need Shanann, and he didn't need those kids to have a good life, because she could give him a good life. She pushed him hard because she knew she had 6 weeks. If that's the truth. If the 6-week thing is the truth, she knew she only had 6 weeks to go, oh, I need to show him what kind of life. Or maybe they had been dating previous to that, and things were going okay, but she knew in that 6-week time frame, while that woman was gone, she had to get in him as much as she could. But back to that 111-minute phone call. You know, nobody, neither one of them seemed to remember what the hell it was about. Oh, la-di-da-di-da, I baked some brownies earlier today. No, that's not what Tricky Nicky and Krista Prick talked about. That's not what they talked about. That is not what they talked about. I'm sorry. So it is very possible that night at the Lazy Dog was the ultimatum. And that's why she looked up Ronnie Watts that night. That 111-minute phone call was just more putting it in his head like, you better do what I say, or I'm going to blow your whole world up. Maybe she was threatening to tell Shanann. Shanann already had thoughts and clues and ideas, but maybe she was threatening to tell Shanann. He was like, no, I'll handle it. So that was one of the things she brought up, which most of us probably, we've all talked about or thought about at one point, but she, you know, she did point out the fact that would kind of explain the looking up Ronnie Watts, because why would she look up Ronnie Watts? And why that night? Why after their date at the Lazy Dog did she look up Ronnie Watts? If not to blackmail Chris. So it's a possibility. Now, another fact that she brought up that I double checked in the Discovery because I don't remember anything about this. In one of Chris's interviews, he does talk about her being bipolar. Yeah. And she had medicine she had to take every day because she was bipolar. And I didn't remember that, so I went and looked it up in the Discovery, and by George, that's what it says. That he told the investigators she was bipolar and she had to take medicine. Now, he might have been lying about it. It's possible. He also talks about discussions where he had to talk her down off the ledge a little bit. Bipolar people do get kind of that's why they're bipolar. They go up and down. They're one minute they're, you know, manic. Next minute they're depressed. I mean, not all bipolar people, because there's different forms of it, depending on what form she had. But if she was bipolar and was taking meds, that would explain some of her behavior. Again, not giving her a scapegoat, but I had forgot. Matter of fact, I thought about that, and I thought, I don't remember anything about him saying she was bipolar. So, excuse me. I went and looked it up. So that's two things that she talked about. Well, she talked about, it was like a 45-minute long video, and she talked about a lot of things, but that's two things that really stuck out with me. Was number one, why did she look up Ronnie Watts after that night at the Lazy Dog? And that might have been the blackmailing, which might have been the sense of urgency that he had to do something with Shanann. And to the fact that she was bipolar. I thought, was she bipolar? Now, again, I don't have proof that she was. Him saying it's not proof. But it's one of those things that while he lies a lot, it would make sense. Now, the other thing I'm going to point out is some stuff from a previous video. A lot of people took a lot of attention on the fact that they might have been doing drugs, and people speculated on all kinds of things. The two I'm concentrating, and I ain't worried about pot smokers. I care less. Colorado's full of them, so there ain't a problem with that at all. And I wouldn't be concerned with that. But the two drugs I am talking about is, as I've mentioned before, meth and fentanyl. And the reason why I keep bringing up meth and fentanyl very specifically, because he very specifically mentions ice cream and lollipops. Ice cream is slang for meth, and fentanyl or lollipops a lot of times refers to fentanyl lollipops. Okay, so if it's ice cream and lollipops, ice cream is slang for meth. So now, let's go back. Let's go back to the bipolar thing for a minute. If she was bipolar already, which means at times she was already erratic, and if they were doing drugs on top of her being bipolar, or on top of her drugs that she takes for being bipolar, and I don't remember what that is. I have a friend that's bipolar, and I know what they take, and I don't know if Nicole took the same thing, but if the medication she takes for being bipolar, if you're adding meth or fentanyl, especially meth, to a bipolar person, oh wow. You know what I mean? Like the crazy shit. Oh wow. And then let's go back a little bit more. Let's talk about Thrive. A lot of people keep bringing up the fact that he was on Thrive. He was doing those dual patches, those black ones. Okay, so if Thrive has the effect on it that a lot of people seem to think, and you add meth to Thrive, can you imagine the buzz he was on? I mean, he was already buzzing hard on Thrive. So if you sprinkle some meth in on top of those Thrive patches, plus her bipolar and meth on top of that, can you imagine? Can you imagine how manic they would both be? I mean, because towards the end there, he was working out all the time. He wasn't eating. He wasn't sleeping. He wasn't doing anything he was supposed to be doing because of the Thrive. But if you do a little meth with that, make you a little more... And he's already a narcissist, so he's already a mess. Then on top of that, you add Thrive to that. And then you add meth to that. Now, the drugs is speculation. The Thrive is a fact. The narcissist has not been proven, but it's been highly speculated by professionals. Okay? The Thrive is a fact. The meth is just a speculation because he very specifically mentions ice cream and lollipops. Very specifically mentions those. So it makes meth a possibility. And then I don't know that Nicole is bipolar, but if she is and she's doing meth too, good Lord, you've got a recipe for disaster right there with all that going on. And always breathing down his neck and always telling him what he needs to do. And if you want me, you're going to do this or this or this. Or if you don't follow through with this, I'm going to tell who. That would explain looking up Ronnie's information on Google. Would explain a lot. So, what I recommend, and I can't make anybody do this, but I would appreciate it if you guys would go to Crime Catalyst and go to her page and look up her videos. She does some great work, and I think she deserves some recognition. I really do. I really believe she's very good at this. She's not super popular like a couple of them, but she does do good work. She does do very good videos. On that being said, for all the people that do their videos, my congratulations to all of them, because they're doing stuff I don't know how to do. I'm creative enough. I have the thoughts. I just don't know how to do it. I haven't figured out how to use a lot of the editing stuff I have. So I'm working on it. But go to Crime Catalyst, go to her page and check out her work. It's strong recommendation. I really think people, if you enjoy what I say and you enjoy what I do, I think you'd like her. Now, on a little bit different subject, a lot of people keep saying they would love to see Nicole, the case reopened and Nicole investigated properly. I have mentioned this before in the past, but not recently. On my channel page, there is a link on that page. If you click that link, it'll take you to a website where you can sign a petition to get the case reopened and get Nicole Tricky Nikki investigated. So for those of you who really believe that she should be investigated, go to my channel page, and in the top there'll be a link. You click that link and it'll take you to another page, and that page is where there are petitions that you can sign to get that case reopened. So, that's all I have for tonight. Go see Crime Catalyst. Go check her out. Show her some love. Watch her videos. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Do the same for mine. Pass my word around. Get some people watching, because people might like what I do. There's some people out there that already do. We might get a few more people in our family. I would like that. If you've had a birthday, got one coming up, happy birthday. I want you to be good. Oh, hurricane victims. There are different websites you can go to. Now verifying before you do it, but there are websites you can go to help out with the people in North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and I think it was Kentucky. 4 states that were messed up. I could be wrong on the 4th, but I know North Carolina, Florida, and Georgia were 3 of them. I think the 4th one was Kentucky. Go help those people if you can. I'm going to give some money to Red Cross. Matter of fact, I just got paid, so that's what I'm going to be doing shortly after I get done with this video. So go check on that stuff. Go check out Crime Catalyst. Like, share, subscribe, all that. Do the same thing for me. God love you. God bless you. Y'all have a beautiful, blessed night. I will be doing another live stream this Friday night. I think it's a wonder I still have a channel after last Fridays. But everybody take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Make good choices. Have a beautiful night. I love y'all.